Hey everybody, how you doing? Just wanted to give you an idea of what ulcerative colitis is on a personal level. I put up a video a couple weeks ago about the technicalities of what ulcerative colitis is, but what does it mean to the person who has ulcerative colitis? That's a little bit different than the textbook definition of what the disease is. For me, I had been out in California and I didn't want to be without a gym because I've been in the gym since I've been about 15 years old. So I didn't want to be without a gym, and I was out there for 3 weeks. So I figured, all right, I'm going to get a membership to a gym, and I did. I got a membership out there. Make a long story short, I was lifting heavy, but normal for me. I mean, I try to lift heavy when I can and try to bulk up. And I noticed that after I had done that, I was passing blood in my stool. And I really thought it has to be the weight, because it just seemed likely that that was the culprit. And finally, I came home from California and the blood had gone away and it seemed like everything was fine. And then I noticed it again. So again, I attributed it to hemorrhoids, really, internal hemorrhoids. And that's pretty common in weightlifters. So I didn't think anything of it, and it would go away and it would come back. And finally I went to my family doctor and he took a look and he said, yeah, you have internal hemorrhoids. So I was pretty confident that that was all that this was going to be. It wasn't going to be a big deal, just something you have to deal with if you want to lift weights. But the blood started to become more frequent, and it didn't seem like it was just when I was lifting weights. So I went, I'll never forget the date. It was December 18th, 2002. And I went to a doctor and proctologist, and he took a look with a sigmoidoscopy, and it turned out that at first everything seemed okay. He said, yeah, he confirmed what my family doctor said, that it was just hemorrhoidal, and that was just what it was. And the test was almost over. And I remember him turning to his assistant and saying, let's just take a look a little bit higher. And I guess with the scope, he went up a little bit higher, and he kind of paused. And I felt beads of sweat start to fill up on my forehead, and I was nervous. And I thought, man, what did he find? And he told me, he said, we found ulcerative colitis. And I remember saying to him, what's ulcerative colitis? Is it the same as Crohn's disease? Because I had heard of Crohn's. And he said it's very similar to Crohn's disease. And immediately he gave me a prescription for Acecol, which is one of the first lines of treatment for ulcerative colitis. Then he also told me to go to get a colonoscopy, which is going through the whole colon, instead of just a sigmoidoscopy, which is only part way. And that was to confirm everything and to take biopsies. And it turned out that was December 22nd, the colonoscopy. That confirmed that I did have ulcerative colitis. And from that point forward, it was just a downward spiral. I don't know for certain, but I think the Acecol actually exacerbated the problem. I think that the colitis got worse from the Acecol, which I have read can happen. And it seemed to happen for me. The Acecol made me very sick. I wound up with pancreatitis from the Acecol, and then some other medication called Pantasa. I also wound up with kidney stones from dehydration. So really, 2002, the end of 2002, I was about 195 pounds. And by the time I was put into the hospital in March of 2003, I was down to 147 pounds. And there was constant blood, constant diarrhea. I couldn't eat, impossible to eat. I remember I was still living at home at the time. Mom and Dad buying everything they could think of. They bought terrible food, anything that I would eat, fried chicken, hamburgers from Burger King, things that I would like. We tried BLTs. We tried anything. We tried tuna fish. I just couldn't get any food down. Hot dogs, anything. I remember dehydrating a couple of times, and Mom wanted to take me to the hospital in the middle of the night, and I told her I wasn't going. And I was able to convince her to keep me home, and I just started to drink. And I just remember the thirst was unbelievable. I couldn't quench my thirst no matter how much I drank. It was amazing. Never felt that before. I couldn't pour the liquid down my throat fast enough. And the faster I pumped it in, the faster it pumped itself out. And by the time, like I said, we got to March of 2003, it was pretty much, I had to be hospitalized, and I was. And they put in a PICC line, and they fed me through the PICC line, and they took my blood through the PICC line, and they checked all my levels, and we had endoscopies, colonoscopies. Unfortunately, at the time, I was so sick that they couldn't really put me out for the endoscopy and the colonoscopy, so I was awake for those procedures, and I gotta tell you that they hurt. You know, I don't care what anybody says, they hurt, especially the endoscopy. It took, even as weak as I was, 4 nurses to pin me to a table, and probably a couple of doctors, because I couldn't catch my breath, and it was just a reaction to try to sit up and take a breath. So it was pretty bad. I did need several blood transfusions, and it took 7 days, but I got my weight up from 147 to 172. But I had to go on prednisone for a while, and quite honestly, I've had good times and bad times since 2003, but never really have been in remission. I mean, the disease has always been a part of my life ever since December 18th, 2002. And I want to get it out of my life. I don't know if I'm going to go through with the surgery or not, but I want it out of my life. I whether it's through medication, diet, and medication, or if I need the surgery. I hope I don't, but I want to destroy this disease. It's something that's it's not fun. I told people before, you know, they say, what's it like to have a disease that is chronic? And in some ways, it's like being on a plane that's crashing. You wish you weren't there. You would do anything to not be on that plane. You'd rather be in the Taco Bell in the airport. You'd rather be in the hotel room. You'd rather be sitting in on a chair waiting for your flight that's been delayed. You do anything not to be inside that airplane because it's going down and you know it's going down. Well, that's what it's like being sick. You can't do anything about it. You can't run away from it. You can't hide from it. You can't go to sleep and have it go away. None of that stuff. It's going to be there whether you fall asleep or not. When you wake up, it's there. So it's a disease that you really want to keep an eye on things. If you notice that you have change in your bowels, if you're going to the bathroom more than normal, you know, more than 2-3 times a day, if you have constant diarrhea or very frequent diarrhea, certainly if you have blood, get it checked out quick. Don't wait, because not only could it be ulcerative colitis, it could also be colon cancer. Colon cancer can be treated usually and cured, so long as you catch it quick enough. So don't delay with symptoms. If you have symptoms, go to the doctor, get it checked out. Maybe they'll tell you it's hemorrhoids, and all you got to do is use Preparation H or whatever, or some suppositories. But you'd rather know than not know. So we're going on, 12 years now of this, and it's a long time. But just, you should know the symptoms. It's, you know, you'll feel fatigue, you'll have constant diarrhea or very frequent diarrhea, blood in your stool, stomach cramping, and that's how it started for me. It just was gradual, you know, just a little bit of blood, and then it turned into not feeling great and a little bit of blood, and then it became a good bit of blood and a lot of diarrhea, and then next thing you know, I'm chronically ill. So just want to let you know what it was like to find out about colitis and have it become part of your life. I'll have more updates later to talk about that, and also the preparation for the hockey game and other good stuff. So thanks everybody for watching. I appreciate it. I'll talk to you soon.